Hello everyone, Merry Christmas and welcome back to another video where I rank the winter and Christmas episodes from the Allcroft, Ghislaine and Brenner eras of Thomas and Friends. In terms of what counts as a winter episode, if it snows, I'm counting it. There is a good chance I have missed some episodes, so comment down below if I did. Okay, so number 31, The Perfect Gift from season 18. This episode, for me, felt like a leftover Sharon Miller era episode in the Brenner era. You have Percy not listening, bringing things and people where they weren't meant to go, and it's a typical Three Strikes formula episode. The worst episode in an otherwise very good season, in my opinion. Number 30, Thomas and the Missing Christmas Tree from season 2. On the whole, the Christmas episodes put out at the end of the classic season didn't quite live up to the other episodes in those seasons. They were still good episodes, but this just feels like a mix of Thomas's Christmas Party, the previous season's Christmas special, and A Deputation, an earlier episode from this season. Number 29, No Snow for Thomas from season 17. This wasn't that bad of an episode, but at this point, we'd had lots of episodes about Thomas not wanting to wear his snowplow and then getting into trouble for it, that this is just repetition of the same basic plot. Number 28, Emily in the Middle from season 21. This was Donald and Douglas's second episode as leads since their return to the show in Lost Treasure. Love Me Tender, as you'll see later in this video, was a great episode. Emily in the Middle, however, used the same plot trait of Donald and Douglas arguing, and that seems to be the only thing the writers are able to do with them at this point. It worked in Love Me Tender, didn't work here. This just felt like a repeat of Love Me Tender, but with Emily thrown in the middle. Number 27, Jack Frost from season 6. Season 6, while still a great season, was the first signs that Thomas was losing its magic, and this episode reinforced that. It was still good, but it just seems like a classic kids show plot of one character teases another about a scary creature, only to later get scared themselves by the character they teased, thinking they're the scary thing. Number 26, Thomas's Christmas Party from season 1. In my opinion, the weakest episode of season 1, and it felt a bit pointless given they didn't adapt Mrs. Kindly's Christmas into an episode. Number 25, Santa's Little Engine from season 17. This, for me, is where the episodes step up. I found this episode incredibly fun to watch. That's basically all I have to say about it. Number 24, The Deputation from season 2. A good episode for me, that built upon Donald and Douglas's character, but later seemed to repeat itself for Thomas and the Missing Christmas Tree. Number 23, A Cranky Christmas from season 19. I really liked Cranky as a character, especially seeing how much he grew from season 5 to season 21. I loved him being a lead in an episode. Number 22, Snow Engine from season 7. This was one of the better season 7 episodes for me. I loved how the snowman just keeps getting bigger every time they passed, and the crash at the end is amazing. Number 21, It's Only Snow from season 6. I said earlier that episodes about Thomas not wearing a snowplow and then getting into trouble is repetitive, and this is basically the opposite, where his snowplow breaks so he has to continue without it, and then getting praised for doing so without a snowplow, and it made a nice change. Number 20, A Scarf for Percy from season 3. This is probably the only time you'll hear me say this, but I think that the episode is better than the story from the Railway series that it's based on, such as giving some backstory for why Percy wants a scarf. However, at the end of the day, the other episodes further down this list are just a lot better than it. Number 19. Thomas, Terence and the Snow from Season 1. This is one of the most classic stories there is, and it's a pretty great one. I just don't think it's as exciting as some of the later episodes on this list. Number 18. Snow from Season 5. Rather like the previous one, this is a great episode, just not as exciting as some of the others. Number 17. The Big Freeze from Season 21. Another good episode, and it's nice to see the traditional formula of steam engines rescuing diesels flipped. Number 16. The Missing Christmas Decorations from Season 17. Should Diesel 10 have been an episode? No. Is this objectively bad? Probably. The reason this is higher than some of the others is because this was one of the first Season 17 episodes I saw, and I thought it was a great deal better than any of the other animated stuff I'd seen, and it convinced me to stick around in the fandom for a bit longer. Number 15. Toby Had a Little Lamb from Season 6. I used to not like this episode, and to be honest, I don't know why. Now I love this episode. Number 14. Letter to Santa from Season 20. I think everyone can agree that Season 20 is the best season of the animated seasons, and this episode is right up there. The reference to the books and the friendship between Percy and Harold is very clear in this episode. Number 13. The Beast of Sodor from Season 19. As an episode, this would be further down the list. However, the humour carries this episode.
Maybe the abominable snowman has taken him. The abominable snowman! Abominable snowman? Utter tish-tosh. Come on, Thomas!
Number 12. Thomas and Percy's Christmas Adventure from Season 3. I said the Christmas episodes at the end of the early classic seasons were often some of the weakest, but I don't think this applies with this episode. I think it's a great episode, but if you want more info on why it's a good episode, go watch Unlucky Tug's video. Number 11. Snow Tastes Like Home from Season 19. I love this episode. You have Victor's very clear hatred of the snow, which makes sense given he comes from a country where it never snows, and Kevin, on the other hand, thinks it's fun and goes out, but ends up getting stuck. When Victor realises Kevin's gone and guesses he must have gone out into the snow, despite his hatred of it, he goes out to look for him. It's a great episode that shows how strong Victor's character is. Number 10. Daisy's Perfect Christmas from Season 21. After how much they used her in Season 20, they took a step back in Season 21. Sure, Daisy had prominent roles in A Most Singular Engine and Springtime for Diesel, but those are Diesel episodes. This is the only real episode with her as the main character. I love this episode so much, as I'm very similar to Daisy is in this episode. I don't like change, especially around Christmas. I like how Ryan, Judy and Jerome help her adjust to the change. Number 9. The Frozen Turntable from Season 17. Like The Missing Christmas Decorations, this was one of the first Season 17 episodes I watched, so I probably overrate it slightly, but it's still a very good episode. Number 8. Duncan the Humbug from Season 18. Season 18 was Duncan's comeback season, and he had 2 episodes as the lead, this and Duncan and the Grumpy Passenger. While I prefer Grumpy Passenger, this was certainly a very enjoyable episode. Number 7. A 2-parter, Diesel's Ghostly Christmas from Season 19. The plot was probably acted out by every child with Thomas toys, and 19 seasons in, it became an episode, or 2 episodes. It's essentially a retelling of A Christmas Carol featuring Diesel as Scrooge. While the story isn't perfect, it certainly lived up to expectations. Number 6. Confused Coaches from Season 21. The first New Year's special, and it's a very good one. It features the Gordon and Spencer rivalry, which never grows old, and this time their rivalry led to the passengers going to the wrong places. This ended up ending season 21, so many fans thought this would be the last good Thomas episode, not expecting the Michael White gems of the Brother era. Number 5, Love Me Tender from season 20. Donald and Douglas's big comeback episode, and it was amazing. Donald and Douglas arguing worked in this case, and I loved how they used the same dialogue at the start and the end to open and close the episode in different ways. Number 4, Terence Breaks the Ice from season 21. Terence's return after 14 seasons and 16 seasons without a speaking role, and it is an action-packed episode with Terence breaking the ice and nearly falling into the lake. Number 3, The Flying Kipper from season 1. I said in my review of season 1 that this episode sums up classic Thomas. It has beautiful visuals, amazing music, and a great story, but I couldn't feel like I could put it above my top 2. Number 2, Last Train for Christmas from season 18. I think this is generally accepted as the best, or at least one of the best episodes of season 18. One of my favourite moments of the show comes from this episode where the Fat Controller decides they have to cancel the last train before Christmas Day because there was too much snow falling on the line and it's still falling. And Diesel is supporting the Fat Controller, and Thomas is saying that they have to get the last train through, and the Fat Controller sees this family waiting at the station, and you can see on his face he realises that Thomas is right. They have to get the last train through so families can be together at Christmas. So all the engines must work together to clear the track so Connor can come through with the last train. And my number 1, another two-parter, The Christmas Coffee Pot and Over the Hill from season 20. I know, I picked a CGI episode as my number 1, but hear me out. This is probably the only time you'll hear me say this, but I think the Brenner era does winter and especially Christmas episodes better than the classic era. Other than possibly humour, that is the only time you'll ever hear me say that. About the two episodes, The Christmas Coffee Pot is a good episode, but there's nothing special about it. It's basically Hero of the Rails in 10 minutes. The second part, however, is outstanding. We see Stephen getting jealous, something we've never seen from him before, some proper character development. We have this gem of a line from Stephen.
And brought him to work with Stephen up at Ulfstead Castle. Come on, Stephen! It's a lovely morning.
Is it? Already?
And then we have the race itself. You have this awesome build-up, and then they set off at like 2 miles an hour, and it's hilarious. And then you have this gem from Millie.
Right then, let's see if you can keep up with me. Ready? Steady?
I think I need to find the Earl.
And then they just end up talking like old men who have become best friends. And of course, they race at a slow tempo along the main line, causing chaos by delaying Gordon and James by hours. This is one of the best episodes to come out of the CGI era, possibly of the whole show. So that is how I would rank the winter and Christmas episodes from the classic era and Brenner eras. But comment down below what you think and whether I missed any. Thanks for watching, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can follow me on Instagram by clicking on the link in the description, and if any of you want to listen to a Christmas concert, I will leave a link to a concert by Stream of Sound, who are a very good choir, in the description down below. But that is all for today. I will see you next year.